Serikali ya Kenya imesisitiza umuhimu wa kuimarisha usalama wa baharini kupitia ushirikiano wa kimataifa ili kukabiliana na vitisho vinavyoathiri biashara na usafiri wa majini.
Mr. Hondrek Simek, who is the Deputy Head of Delegation of the EU, Mr. Bruno Shioso, who is our Director General, Mr. Martin Kauchi, who is also the EU Kuimarisha Director, Mr. Nyarangi, who is the CEO of Kenya Maritime Authority, all the admirals who are here, commanders of the various navies and coast guards. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. Jambo. Kiswahili. It's very simple. Jambo, jambo bwana. Habari gani? Mzuri sana. If you learn that song, you've learned the entire Kiswahili. It's a very simple language. Say jambo, you say jambo. Habari, habari.
Akifungua rasmi mkutano wa 4 wa Kamati ya Uongozi ya Jukwaa la Kubadilishana Taarifa za kanda ya Indo-Specific Regional Information, yani IORIS, uliofanyika Mombasa, Waziri wa Usalama wa Ndani na Utawala Kipchumba Murkomen amesema bahari salama ni muhimu kwa ustawi wa uchumi wa mataifa na maendeleo ya biashara ya kimataifa.
First of all, welcome to Kenya, which means in Kiswahili, karibu Kenya. The reason why this Mombasa is very critical for Kenya, this is where Kiswahili, this was a melting point of various cultures. And it's a perfect place for this conference because this is the gateway of Kenya. You will just go around the corner, you will find Fort Jesus. And Vasco da Gama was just here the other day. So you're really following up in the footsteps of historians and explorers who came through this port of Mombasa to be in this country. And therefore, the very perfect place to have a discussion when it comes to maritime security and shared communication in terms of security and common protection for humankind and business. It's with great honor and personal joy that I stand before this esteemed gathering, taking this early opportunity to welcome you all to the nation of Kenya. As we always say in Kenya, this is not just a welcome. We believe that Kenya is home because Kenya is the cradle of mankind and home to diverse people living in harmony and tranquility. Excellencies, admirals, ladies and gentlemen, we are all gathered here for the next 3 days to participate in the 4th Indo-Pacific Regional Information Sharing Platform, IORIS, steering committees meeting co-hosted jointly by the EU Kuimarisha and Kenya through the Kenya Coast Guard, leadership of the Kenya Coast Guard Service. On this score, allow me to congratulate both the co-hosts on their sterling partnership and coordination that has made this event possible to be hosted here in Kenya.
Wakati huo Murkomen amekiri kuwa vitisho kama uharamia baharini, uporaji wa meli, uvuvi haramu na utupaji wa taka hatari baharini vinaendelea kuhatarisha usalama wa mataifa na kuathiri njia muhimu za usafirishaji wa bidhaa duniani.
This is a laudable convergence of like minds and stakeholders with common purpose for secure and safer seas to deliberate and make critical decisions on how to manage and also cooperate on the governance of shared commons. Since time immemorial, nations in remote corners of the world found a way to trade and interact with each other. Indeed, the discovery of the world itself was made possible through great voyages recorded in history. Communities in what is now Kenya engaged in global trade in the Middle Centuries with the Middle East, India, and far-flung places such as Far East, China, among other countries. Great explorers such as Vasco da Gama helped to open the Western Indian Ocean to wider global trade and navigation. The Portuguese presence that followed led to the construction of Fort Jesus, as I told you earlier, in Mombasa, a landmark that remains one of the region's most significant historical monuments. Ever since, our commons have continued to play a pivotal role in opening international and regional trade, hence boosting global and national economies. The ongoing Middle East crisis is a clear manifestation of how we all suffer when our sea lanes of maritime transport are disrupted. This also includes other maritime-based transnational threats, such as piracy, armed robberies of sea, illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, and dangers of dumping hazardous materials on seabed, among others.
Aidha, amepongeza ushirikiano kati ya Kenya na Umoja wa Ulaya kupitia mradi wa Critical Maritime Routes Indo-Specific, yani Kuimarisha, akisema umechangia kuimarisha uwezo wa taasisi mbalimbali za nchi katika kukabiliana na changamoto za usalama wa baharini.
Through Kuimarisha programming, Kenya, through her agencies, namely the Kenya Navy, the Kenya Coast Guard Services, Kenya Ports Authority, Kenya Maritime Authority, and lately Border Control and Operation Coordination Committee, is a proud member of the IORIS community that is gathered here today. I am thus fully aware of the benefits accrued to our national security framework, and in particular maritime security and safety, with a great emphasis on freedom of navigation arising out of the deployment of IORIS platform. The platform has also enabled the agencies to communicate and share critical information amongst themselves and within the wider global community of members, hence securing our sea lanes and ultimately boosting international maritime based trade. Kenya, through the Kenya Coast Guard Services, went a step further by collaborating with Kuimarisha to develop a breakthrough mobile app named Usalama Baharini, which in translated to English means safety of the sea, that is embedded in IORIS. Through this integration of technologies, Kenya Coast Guard Services is able to leverage the fisher folks at sea in accessing critical security and safety information, enabling timely enforcement reaction. And this has really helped us, not just the sea alone, but also in our lakes. We have our Lake Victoria, which is shared among the 3 East African countries. We have our Lake Turkana, which is shared also among the 3 East Africa countries of Ethiopia, South Sudan, and Kenya. And this app plays a very critical role when it comes to the security, but also safety of our fisher folks. This effectively gives the Kenya Coast Guard a third eye on maritime domain awareness, hence helping improve our maritime security.